Good morning, Phil here, Flat Creek Outdoors. Thanks for tuning in. If you saw the video the other day, you saw I got some free wood, which is some awesome wood, and there's lots more there I can go back to get. But when I came back to the property here with my trailer, I got it stuck in the mud. So last night, temps were down in the teens again. Things were pretty well frozen here, so I figured I would use this opportunity to try to get the trailer out with the ground a little bit harder than usual. So I got the trailer out successfully. Here's what I tried. I first tried to jack the trailer up, but it just there's no real easy jack point underneath the trailer. I was just pressing on wood initially, and then when I moved it up, I was too far forward, and all I did was lift the tongue off the ground. So I decided to hook up the tractor, and with the tractor hooked up to the trailer, I could kind of lift it up. I still couldn't get the wheel out of the rut that it was in, so I took some of the rounds off of that side of the trailer where it was sunk down really hard, gave it one tug, and it came right out. So pretty uneventful thing there, but that was, about 45 minutes worth of work altogether, and I'm glad to have it done. Now all around me here, these are the rounds that were in the trailer over here, so pretty good collection of wood. Most of this stuff here is at least 18 inches in diameter, and some of it much more, so there's a good amount of wood there, though on the ground it doesn't look like nearly as much as it did when it was in the trailer. And then this is some more from that same batch that I got. I actually made 2 trips there the other day, so some got loaded in the trailer, some got loaded in the truck, and this is some more from that same batch. So I started piling up all of the wood over here because I'm going to make some adjustments to the Woodyard. Let me give you a quick run through of some of those details, and then I need to stack some wood, I need to move some wood, and I want to get splitting. So let's get to it. What I've been doing up here for a little while is I've got basically 3 pallets on the ground, and I've got a set of stakes. I've run out of stakes, so I've shifted over to moving pallets as the dividers. So basically every 12 feet, if we get 2 rows every 12 feet, that's a cord. And so I've got this batch here, which is a partial cord because this dips down. Some of the stuff was dry enough this year, and I started burning it myself at home because we ran out. But I'm going to fill this in here with some partially seasoned wood, and then this will all be for next year's sales. All right, so right there is a divider. There's a set of T-posts in the ground. This next section here, I'm actually going to take all of this out, and this is going to be an aisleway or a roadway to get through from one side to the other, and I'm going to have additional stacks out here. This next section is pretty well seasoned. This will be the first stuff I sell next year. I need to fill it up a little bit more. It's only a partial, so we've got maybe 3/4 of a cord here. And then I've started stacking some fresh wood over here, and I've started stacking some fresh wood over there. And that is it. So in total here, I have maybe about 3.5 cords, and that is it. That is split. And I have some goals, which I'm going to tell you about here in a little bit. For next year, I'm going to need a lot more wood. That pile there are all of the shorts, I'm calling them. That is pieces like 10 to 14 inches. And I'm going to separate all that out in the future and list that for sale separately, specifically for people with smaller fire pits, chimeneas, some of these smokeless fire pits like the Solo Stove or the Brio. They all do better with shorter pieces of wood. So and then some of them, like some of the chimeneas and stuff, they don't fit anything bigger. So I have a few customers who have requested those, and I'm sure if I advertised that I had those, I could attract more. So I'm going to start piling all of that separate, keeping it separate, and as I go through these pieces of wood, over here I'm going to have a bunch, for example, because some of these rounds are too long. Some of them are like 20 inches long, so I can cut out of that either 2 10-inch pieces, or I can cut a 15 or so inch piece and leave the remainder for a short that can get stacked over there. So we'll be figuring that out, because a lot of these rounds here I didn't cut to length, so it's just like a bunch of random lengths. I wouldn't have preferred to have it this way, but this was the free wood that I got that was already cut, so that's how I'm going to deal with it. And then of course, as I'm processing my own logs, when I get to the end and I've got a short piece, I can determine what to do from there. So now that this is cleared out, these pallets can come up, and this is going to be a way for me to kind of get in and out of each side of the wood yard. And I'm starting to think about how I'm going to grow this firewood business and how I'm going to lay everything out here. I've heard from some other people, you know, Ohio Woodburner, for example, and Chris in the Woodyard, who have talked about how they lay out their wood yards a little bit. And one of the things that's going to make my life easier in the future is if I can pull the truck up broadside next to the stack and load it from there. As I've started to lay out these rows here, I can't do that with the second or the third row. There's no room for me to get my truck in there. So these are the last rows that I'm going to orient this way, and I'm going to continue to do rows down this tree line. Those branches of those cedars are going to come off, and we're going to go down this tree line here, and as this wood seasons, I'll be able to drive right up to the wood stack on this side to load up. The same can be said over there where I did the shorts. I'm going to pile wood up on pallets along that tree line, and I'll always be able to get my truck in over here. This area over here is never, or has never been, too wet for me to get my truck in and out. It was way down the hill down there where I got the trailer stuck, and I know not to navigate there anymore. But with this cleared out, I'll be able to bring the splitter in and out of here, and you know, basically choose to split wherever I think is going to be most efficient for stacking. And the next thing I need to do is clean up what's already split over there and get it stacked over here. Then I can bring the splitter through and I can start working on some of this stuff, and it's going to get stacked along the fence line where or some of it's going to get stacked along the fence line there where those slides and some of that scrap wood is, and some of it's also going to get stacked right here. I've got room for about another 1/2 to 3/4 of a cord to complete that stack up this way. So that is what is on the docket here for the next week or two as I continue to lay this out. So let me tell you a little bit more about how I want to grow the firewood business here this year. My plan to grow the firewood business, well, let me give you some context. So each of the last 2 years, this is just my 3rd year selling firewood, each of the last 2 years I was only able to produce like 4 to 5 cords. And I mean, when I say I was able to, that's just kind of what I did in my spare time. I wasn't really focused on hitting a certain goal. I wasn't really thinking about how much opportunity there was in the market to sell firewood. So I know I probably could have produced more if I really put more time and attention to it. But that's what I did, 4 to 5 cords. And each year I bought a few cords pre-split that I could just turn around and resell. So each of the last couple of years I've been able to do several $1,000s in sales, and this year I definitely want to get over 10,000. I think if I really push it I can probably even get to $15,000 in sales, but it's going to require a lot of wood. So I'll probably do a whole separate video on the specifics of how I'm calculating how much wood I would need. Yes, I know it's pretty easy for a lot of guys who just sell half cords and cords how to get to a certain number. But since I do a lot of bundles, a lot of small stacks, and I do some truckloads with my little truck, which is about 1/3 of a cord, I want to grow the small quantity business. I want to offer more options with bundles. So in the past I've only sold 3 bundles at a time. Maybe I can do 5 or 10 and offer those as options. I also want to expand the number of choices that I have for higher value products, like the small splits for the small fire pits. I want to offer some smoking wood. I want to offer some pizza oven wood. I think there are these kind of different markets between the high-end small fire pits and the backyard burners and the fireplace crowd. You know, the audience that I already serve. I think there are plenty of households in this market that would want to buy some high quality wood if I have it available. So I need, I think, at least 15 to 18 cord here seasoned and ready to go. And right now I've only got about 3 that's split. It's not even seasoned yet, so I've got a lot of work to do to get there. And then I've got some other ways and ideas that I think I can package wood and some upsell items in order to drive the revenue even further, and I'll probably talk about that more in some future videos. But today I think I just wanted to kind of share with you the layout of the Woodyard here. Now that I've got this cleared out, I feel a lot better about being able to get back and forth between what I've got going on over there and what will be the major stacking area down that tree line and down that tree line / fence line over there. So I'm going to keep working here today, but I'm going to wrap us up. If you got questions, leave them below. Glad I got that trailer out, and I'm going to be visiting that honey hole that I showed you in the last video. I'm going to be visiting there again to get some more wood, because knowing that I'm going to need a lot of wood to get to my goal that I want to get to, I need to get a lot more wood here, and that is just part of the battle. So thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.